In this video, we will learn how to create a publication quality histogram using the ggplot2 library in R. Starting from a simple histogram, we will develop an informative and eye-catching plot. Along the way, you will learn about the powerful features of ggplot2 and see that once you get started, creating similar plots is easy. To begin, we need some data to visualize. Let's generate some fictional data sampled from a distribution that describes the speed of cars, measured in miles per hour, along a road. I have chosen the exponentially modified normal distribution. Let's draw 250 samples from this distribution by adding 250 independent samples from a normal distribution to the same number of independent samples from an exponential distribution. These samples are stored in a data frame with a single column labeled speed. To create a basic plot, we need to pass our data to ggplot and select the appropriate geom. A geom is a building block used to create a plot. Each geom needs to know how to assign variables in the data to its aesthetics. Aesthetics are visual components such as the color of a bar, the thickness of a line, and the position of a point. To create a histogram, we use geom histogram. The main aesthetic is the x-axis because the variable mapped to this axis is the data used to build the histogram. Our data contains the single variable speed. To map it to the x-axis, we pass the aesthetic mapping function AES with the mapping x equals speed to ggplot. This is a great starting point, but we can do even better. The histogram is too noisy. Picking a better, larger bin width will clarify the general trend. The x-axis is missing the units of measurement. Speed can be measured in many different ways. We should clarify what these units are. The plot has no title. A descriptive title, like a figure caption, removes any ambiguity about what the plot is showing. The x-axis tick labels are broad. A finer-grained step size will make it easier to determine what values on the x-axis are contained within a given bin. The bin width can be changed by passing a value or a function to the bin width argument. Let's try the Friedmann-Diaconis rule. This rule should work well because the distribution of our data is roughly normal. The granularity of the x-axis ticks can be changed using the function scale_x_continuous. Passing the breaks argument with the locations where ticks should appear. Let's divide this up into steps of 5 miles per hour. The plot and x-axis title can be changed easily using the labs function. Here is the plot with these changes implemented. The combination of detailed axes and informative titles makes it much clearer to the reader what the plot is about. However, the plot suffers by not conveying what the central tendency of the distribution is, or where most of the density lies. This is important summary information that can improve the descriptive power of the plot. Adding data summaries is more involved because we need to venture outside of the functionality provided by geom histogram and lay additional geoms on top of our current plot. In ggplot2, a summary of the data is plotted with the stat_summary function. Let's convey the spread of the data with two pairs of quantiles, an outer and an inner pair that contain 90% and 50% of the density. Stat_summary needs two things to start working: a function to summarize the data and the name of the geom to display it. Here is a function that returns a data frame with two columns, ymin and ymax, that will be the lower and upper quantiles respectively. The line range geom is used to visualize the summary. We want to plot the line range horizontally, so the orientation should equal y. The process is easier for the median. Here we can use R's built-in median function to summarize the data and specify the point geom to have it display as a circular point located within the quantile interval. With this addition, the plot efficiently conveys the spread of the data and its central tendency. Readers no longer need to guess what they are. All we need to do now is make the plot stand out with some color. Adding fills and colors is simple. Most geoms have the arguments col or fill that can be passed a valid color string or hexadecimal code. Here we add a black outline to the histogram bars and fill them with a deep purple. That completes our plot. Let's save it for use in a 2-column layout. We should use a large DPI so the plot does not appear blurry in print or under zoom. Thanks for watching. I hope this provided some useful information for getting started with ggplot2 in R. I've placed all the code for creating these histograms on my GitHub, which you can find in the video description below.